Hello, this is Gradye Parsons, another in our series of Where Are We Going as a Church. I'm going to again refer to the book Congregation Leadership in Anxious Times by Peter Steinke, but I'm really reading a quote from Henry Nouwen, the famous Catholic writer and priest who gave us so many great pieces of wisdom and so much insight over the years. And this is what Henry shares with us. There's within you a lamb and a lion. Spiritual maturity is the ability to let the lamb and the lion lie down together. Your lion is your adult, aggressive self. It is your initiative-taking and decision-making self. But there's also your fearful, vulnerable lamb, the part of you that will easily become a victim of your need for other people's attention. The art of spiritual living is to fully claim both your lion and your lamb. Let me say it again. The art of spiritual living is to fully claim both your lion and your lamb. Then you can act assertively without denying your own needs, and you can ask for affection and care without betraying your talent to offer leadership. I shared this with a session when I was doing elder training a few years ago, and we had a really interesting discussion about the need for the lamb and the lion to be a part of what's the life and role of an elder, what's the life and role of a minister, even the life and ministry of church. What does it mean to have the lamb and the lion cooperatively? One is a confession that we all like to be liked, we like to be affirmed, and we like people to think well of us. The other is an acknowledgement that in order to make progress in this world, to move forward, you need some sense of a lion in you that's willing to push when things need to be pushed, and even push ourselves towards being the kind of people that God is calling us to be. And part of the whole role of leadership is to walk on this balance, to claim both the gifts of the lamb and the gifts of the lion as we try to be leaders in the church. Being a leadership in a church, one of the great traps that's easy to fall in is to try to be liked by everybody. And that's a difficult thing. I mean, that doesn't work anywhere. As I have told people, my children are both grown. They live outside the home. They have their own lives or their own income, their own health care, all those good things you hope for in your children. So nobody's at home but just my wife and I. We don't even have pets anymore. And even with that small number, not everybody's happy all the time. We still got some diversity there. So it's impossible to try to make everybody happy all the time, and that should never be the sole role of leadership in the church. At the same time, we have to acknowledge we do like to be liked, and people like to be in an atmosphere that's a conducive, affirming kind of atmosphere. But we also can't stay there. We also have to become this lion. We have to kind of be assertive as we seek to be the people we are called to be in the world. In Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24, says that we are to provoke one another to love and good deeds. Now, the word in Greek doesn't just mean provoke. Provoke is sort of a nice way of saying it. Some translations say stir up. Some translations say encourage or enable. But in the real Greek, it has a negative meaning. It means either to irritate or exasperate. So an accurate translation of that passage in Hebrew would be, we are to irritate each other to love and good deeds, or exasperate each other to love and good deeds. And for that part of the purpose, you need to be a lion. We need to be willing to help push each other to move forward to these good deeds in the world. Much of the good that's happened in the world, even though the church has been part of some things that weren't good, much of the good has happened in some parts because the church has pushed. The church has moved forward. The church has tried to do the right thing for people in justice, the right thing for basic human care. The church is on the scene where these places have had tornadoes. It's the churches that are reaching out to folks first, where people go to seek comfort and nourishment. It's the church that's working with the street people in our cities. It's the church it's often working with those people that are most of us see are as invisible. It's the church that's helping people be assimilated into our communities that are from other countries. That's the part of the work of the church, and that doesn't happen because we sit back and do nothing. It's happened because we're willing to be part of God using us to exasperate us to love and good deeds, and to let that lion and the lamb, realizing we like to be like, but realizing that let that lamb push forward in doing those things, helping us be that kind of person. So what I want to encourage you to think about, you in your session and yourself, is to really think about this balancing act we have between the lion and the lamb, this need to be liked and also this need to lead. And how do we balance those things? How do we claim the reality of those two things? How do we claim the fact that we want to be affirmed, but at the same time we need to be firm as we try to push forward in our life as a church? The church is an active thing. The church needs to always be engaging in ministry, to be exegeting its context, its neighborhood, to see what God is calling them to do. And a part of that exegesis to be able to push yourselves, to be that lion, that assertive, aggressive self, willing to go out there and share the good news of Jesus Christ. So I hope you claim your own lamb, and I hope you claim your own lion, and realize that how you move those two things together is the real mark of spiritual maturity and the real mark of spiritual leadership. And may God bless you in that journey and that struggle. Thank you.